It was Christmas Eve in London, and I'd been up since 4:30 in the morning. The aroma of the turkey that had been brining for 2 days with sage and thyme filled our flat in Notting Hill. My name is Emma. I'm 33 years old. I work as an administrative assistant at a publishing house near Russell Square, and since my father passed away 10 years ago, I've organized every Christmas dinner for the Ashford family. My older sister Charlotte arrived around 3 in the afternoon with her husband William. She walked through the front door, her Burberry bag casually draped over her shoulder, her Jimmy Choos clicking against the hardwood floor. Charlotte is 38, a partner at a prestigious law firm in Canary Wharf, drives a brand new Range Rover Evoque, and owns a penthouse overlooking the Thames. She walked through the kitchen where I was preparing the Christmas pudding and sighed dramatically. "Good Lord, Emma, must you always make such a fuss? Can't we just have something simple for once?" I smiled and continued working. Charlotte had always been like this, successful barrister who looked down on anything that didn't meet her standards of sophistication. My mother Margaret arrived at 5, carrying a box of mince pies from Marks & Spencer. "Darling, you know at 72 I haven't the energy for these things anymore," she said, settling into the sofa in the drawing room. I kissed her on the forehead and returned to the kitchen. We were still waiting for the cousins from Edinburgh, Uncle James from Manchester, Aunt Victoria from Bath. The entire Ashford family would come for the Christmas dinner I was preparing alone, as every year. At 7 o'clock, the table was laid. The white damask tablecloth that had belonged to my grandmother, the Wedgwood china I'd saved for years to buy, the Waterford crystal glasses I'd paid for in monthly installments. At the center sat the golden turkey, surrounded by all the trimmings: roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, Brussels sprouts with bacon, parsnips, carrots, bread sauce, cranberry sauce, the works. The Christmas pudding I'd been feeding with brandy since September, the mince pies, the trifle, everything perfectly arranged. The guests arrived gradually. Uncle James with his new girlfriend Olga, a 29-year-old Russian he'd met online. Aunt Victoria with her 3 teenage sons glued to their phones. My cousin Oliver from Edinburgh with his pregnant wife Sophie. The flat filled with voices, laughter, the typical noise of a large family gathered for Christmas. When we sat down at table, we were 24 people. I'd calculated everything, each portion, each bottle of wine, every detail. Charlotte took the seat at the head of the table, where Father used to sit, as she'd done since he died. William beside her, showing off his new Rolex. My mother on the other side, already on her second glass of sherry. It happened as I was carving the turkey. I was serving portions, attending to everyone, when Charlotte stood and tapped her glass with her knife. "Everyone, attention please. I'd like to propose a toast." Everyone fell silent. "To William, who's just closed the most lucrative deal in his firm's history." Applause. William stood, adjusted his Savile Row tie, and began a 15-minute speech about the deal, the millions involved, his business acumen. When he finally sat down, Charlotte took the floor again. "And now I'd like to thank everyone who contributed to this wonderful feast." My heart quickened. Finally, some recognition. "Mother, thank you for the delicious mince pies." Mother waved awkwardly. Everyone knew they were from M&S. "Aunt Victoria, thank you for the wine." Victoria had brought 2 bottles of cheap Prosecco from Tesco. And Emma, she paused dramatically, looked at me with that particular smile of hers. "Thank you for washing up afterwards. After all, that's all you're good for, isn't it? You only serve to wash the dishes." The silence was deafening. 24 people stopped chewing simultaneously. I felt the blood rush to my face, my hands trembling slightly. William laughed, found it amusing. My mother pretended not to have heard. The cousins looked down, embarrassed. I stood slowly, took my water glass, had a sip. I looked Charlotte straight in the eye, she who was still smiling, satisfied with her public humiliation. "You know, Charlotte, you're right. I have indeed washed many dishes today. I washed the dishes where I prepared the turkey you're eating. I washed the pots where I made the Yorkshire puddings that William's already had thirds of. I washed the molds for the puddings that Mother's already devoured without even helping." Charlotte tried to interrupt me, but I continued. "Actually, since we're doing acknowledgements, let me do mine. Thank you, Charlotte, for your £0 contribution to this dinner. Thank you, William, for always arriving when everything's ready. Thank you, Mother, for always having an excuse not to help." I pulled out my phone. "Do you know how much this Christmas dinner cost? £4,800. Do you know who paid? Me. The same person who only serves to wash dishes. Turkey, goose, salmon, all the trimmings, wines, puddings, all me. Oh, and the seafood platter over there, the one from Harrods Food Hall, £3,600, also paid by me. Aunt Victoria choked on her Prosecco. Harrods? You ordered from Harrods? Precisely. Lobster, oysters from Scotland, caviar, smoked salmon from Fortnum and Mason. I was going to serve it after the main course, but you know what? I don't think so. After all, someone who only serves to wash dishes shouldn't be splashing out on Harrods, should they? Charlotte went pale. Emma, stop this drama. You're ruining Christmas. I'm ruining it? Me? Me who got up at 4:30? Me who's been cooking all day? Me who spent the equivalent of 4 months' rent to feed people who don't even say thank you? My voice was steady now. You know what? You're only eating here because I wanted it, because I paid for it, because I cooked it. My cousin Oliver tried to mediate. Emma, calm down. She didn't mean it. Didn't mean it? She just said in front of 24 people that I only served to wash dishes. In the flat that I decorated, with the food that I prepared, at the dinner that I financed. I looked Charlotte in the eye. You know what the difference is between us? You have money and think you're better than everyone. I have money and use it to bring the family together. Only that's finished. This is the last Christmas I organize. William stood up, irritated. What an overreaction. Charlotte made a joke and you... A joke? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You know what's funny? I have the receipts. I pulled the papers from my pocket. $4,800 for dinner, $3,600 for Harrods, £600 extra for wine, because I knew what you'd bring wouldn't be enough. Total, £9,000. Is that funny to you? I threw the papers on the table right in front of Charlotte's plate. And the most ironic thing? I earn less than you. Much less. But every year I save, I go without, I pay in installments, because family means something to me. But today I understood that to you, I'm just the unpaid help. My mother finally spoke. Emma, sit down. This isn't necessary. No, Mother, you too. Every year you arrive, sit down, eat, and leave. You don't even help clear the table. And I never said anything. But tonight, in front of everyone, your favorite daughter decided to humiliate me, and you stayed silent. I took my handbag. The Harrods platter is paid for. Help yourselves. The kitchen is full of food. Take what you want. The dishes? Well, Charlotte can wash them. After all, someone has to do it, don't they? Charlotte stood up, face red. You can't just leave. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve, and my present to myself is no longer accepting being treated like a doormat. I looked at everyone. Happy Christmas. Oh, and before I forget, I took out my phone again, opened the banking app. Charlotte, I've just sent you a transfer, £80. That's the rate for a cleaner in London for 4 hours. Consider it your wages. Her phone pinged. She looked at the screen, incredulous. You're paying me to wash dishes? I'm paying you. After all, now that everyone knows who really financed this dinner, it's only fair that the one who only criticizes does something useful. I headed for the door. Oh, and the washing up liquid is under the sink. The one with aloe vera doesn't dry out your hands. I always think of these details. I left, but my cousin Oliver told me later what happened. Charlotte tried to maintain composure for a few minutes, but when everyone started talking about the amounts I'd mentioned, about her cruelty, she began to cry. William tried to defend his wife, but Uncle James cut him off. £9,000, William. The girl spent £9,000, and you didn't even say thank you. Aunt Victoria was more direct. Charlotte, you've crossed every line. This child works all year to organize this dinner, and you were cruel. My mother, for the first time in 10 years, took a stand. Charlotte, you've shamed me tonight. Your sister has been the backbone of this family since your father died, and you treated her like a servant. Oliver said the atmosphere became so heavy that by 10 o'clock, everyone had left. Charlotte and William left, without touching the Harrods platter, without tasting the puddings. The table remained set, the food growing cold, a desolate scene of what should have been a celebration. I spent the rest of Christmas Eve at Claridge's. I ordered room service, drank a lovely Chablis, watched a film on Netflix. For the first time in 10 years, I didn't wash dishes on Christmas Eve. For the first time in 10 years, I felt free. On Boxing Day, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Messages from cousins, uncles, all apologizing, saying they didn't know I was financing everything alone. They thought it was a kiddie. Aunt Victoria sent a 20-minute voice message crying, saying she felt terrible for never offering help. Uncle James transferred £2,000 with the message, "For next Christmas." My mother came to my flat on the 27th. Her eyes were red from crying. "Emma, forgive me. I've been a terrible mother. You've taken care of everything alone all these years, and I only criticized, never helped, never thanked you." I hugged her. "Mom, I didn't do it for thanks. I did it for love. But love doesn't mean accepting humiliation." "I know, and you're right. Charlotte is devastated. She cried all night, says she can't sleep, that she's realized how cruel she was. She's always been like this, Mom. The difference is that now everyone's seen it." My mother took my hands. "She wants to apologize. She can apologize, but things won't go back to how they were." And they didn't. January came with a new family dynamic. Charlotte tried to reach me several times, sent messages, tried to call. William sent flowers to my office with an apology card. I thanked them but kept my distance. In February, my mother rang with a proposal. "The family wants to do a Sunday lunch, but this time everyone contributes. Money and work. What do you think?" I agreed. When I arrived, the scene was surreal. Charlotte in the kitchen, actually cooking. William chopping vegetables, my mother making pudding. Uncles and cousins, all helping somehow. When they saw me, they stopped. Charlotte came to me, apron stained, hands wet. "Emma, I need to ask your forgiveness, not just for what I said, but for all these years. You held this family together alone, and I was a monster." I looked into her eyes. There was sincerity, something I hadn't seen in a long time. "Charlotte, I forgive you, but things have changed. I won't sacrifice myself alone anymore. If you want family, we build it together." She nodded, tears rolling down. "I've discovered something these 2 months. Washing dishes is hard. Cooking is hard. Organizing everything is hard. But you know what's hardest? Doing it alone whilst everyone criticizes." The lunch was different. Simple but honest. Everyone helped, everyone contributed, everyone thanked. There was no turkey with all the trimmings or Harrods, but there was something that had been missing for years: respect. March brought a surprise. Charlotte rang me on a Thursday evening. "Emma, I need a massive favor. I have an important dinner with Japanese clients and the caterers canceled last minute. Can you help me? You want me to cook?" "No, I mean yes, but with me. Together. I'll pay for everything, obviously, and pay you for your work too. But more than that, I want to learn. Can you teach me?" I spent all night with her in her designer kitchen. I taught her how to prepare beef Wellington, the secrets of perfect roast potatoes, the art of a proper gravy. Charlotte took notes, asked questions, tried, failed, tried again. At 3 a.m, exhausted, we sat in her kitchen drinking tea. "You know, Emma, I was always jealous of you." I nearly choked on my tea. "Jealous? You? Of me?" "Yes. You were always Dad's favorite. You cooked together, laughed together. I was good at school, at exams. But you had his heart." "Charlotte, no. Let me finish. When he died, you naturally took his place. The holidays, the gatherings, you kept the family together. And me? I could only criticize because it was the only way to feel important. Pathetic, isn't it?" I took her hand. "Not pathetic. Human. But you didn't need to belittle me to feel valued." "I know. And that Christmas Eve, when you showed the receipts, when you left, it was like a slap. I realized I had everything but had nothing. Money, flat, car, but not the respect and love you'd earned with simplicity and dedication." Her dinner with the clients was a success. The Japanese were delighted. The contract was signed. Charlotte made sure to tell everyone that her sister had helped, that these were family recipes. For the first time, she gave me credit. April came with news. The family decided to create a common fund for celebrations. Everyone would contribute monthly, and there'd be a rota for who'd organize each event. It was no longer one person's responsibility. In May, we had the Mother's Day lunch. Charlotte and I cooked together. William took care of the wines and discovered a passion for natural wines. My mother, for the first time in years, made the cake. Uncles and cousins, everyone participated. The table was laid, the food delicious, but most importantly, the burden was no longer on my shoulders alone. During lunch, Uncle James made a speech. I want to thank Emma, not just for today, but for all these years. We were blind, selfish. You kept this family together with your own sweat and money, and we didn't even notice. Forgive us, niece. And thank you. Everyone applauded. I cried, not from sadness, but relief. Finally, they understood. June brought an opportunity. I received a job offer. An international events company based in Edinburgh had seen my LinkedIn profile where I'd listed organizing family celebrations as volunteering. They wanted to hire me as events director. The salary was triple my current one. Charlotte was the first person I told. She cried with joy. Emma, you deserve it. You've always had this talent, and now they'll pay you what you're worth. The job change brought changes to the family dynamic too. With less free time, I couldn't organize everything alone, even if I'd wanted to. And you know what? It was good. The family learned to really organize themselves, to collaborate. In July, I moved to Edinburgh, to a flat in the new town with views of the castle. The whole family helped with the move. Charlotte painted the walls with me, choosing warm Scottish tartans for accents. My mother sewed beautiful curtains. William assembled the furniture without complaining once. On moving day, we had a housewarming. I cooked, but everyone brought something. The table was laid in my small dining room, cramped, but together, with Edinburgh's skyline twinkling below. During dinner, Charlotte asked to speak. I want to say something. That Christmas where I said those horrible things was the worst and best day of my life. Worst because I showed what a monster I was. Best because it was the day my transformation began. Emma, you don't just serve to wash dishes. You serve to unite, to love, to teach. You're the heart of this family. In September, during a family meeting, my mother made a revelation. I have to tell you something. The money Emma spent on celebrations, she took it from her savings to buy a house. She sacrificed her dream for us. The silence was profound. Charlotte started crying. Emma, why didn't you ever say anything? Because family was more important. Keeping you together was more important than a house. William stood up. How much do you need for the house? It doesn't matter, William. It bloody well does matter. How much? About £90,000. He looked at Charlotte. She nodded. Consider it done. It's the least we can do. I refused initially, but they insisted. It wasn't charity. It was justice. It was recognition. It was love. October came, and with it the purchase of my flat near Princes Street. Bigger than expected thanks to their help. The whole family participated in the decoration. Charlotte helped me choose furniture from Scottish designers. My mother created magnificent cushions with Harris tweed. William installed a complete smart home system. November flew by with Christmas preparations. This time, everything different. Shared task list, common budget, everyone involved. I created a WhatsApp group, Ashford Christmas, all together. The messages never stopped. Suggestions, ideas, everyone taking responsibility. Charlotte took charge of the turkey. She spent weeks studying recipes, ringing me for advice, doing trials. William handled the wines and discovered a passion for Scottish whiskies. My mother, surprise of surprises, decided to make all the traditional puddings. She started practicing in October. December arrived, the 24th. I arrived at Mum's at 4 in the afternoon. The kitchen was full. Charlotte with the turkey in the aga, William setting up his drink station, Mum decorating the puddings, uncles and cousins, all working. When they saw me, they stopped. Charlotte came with a box. This is for you, from all of us. I opened it. It was an apron, embroidered on it, Emma, much more than dishes, chef of hearts and CEO of family love. Below, signed by everyone. I cried. We hugged. All together, a messy, beautiful group hug. Dinner was served at 8. Table laid, family gathered. Before eating, we did a gratitude circle. Oliver's idea. Everyone thanked for something. When my turn came, I looked at everyone. I'm thankful for last Christmas, for having the courage to stand up, for you having the humility to recognize, for us being here, different, better. Charlotte was last. I'm thankful for my sister, for teaching me that humility isn't having less, it's valuing more. That family isn't about blood, it's about choice. And that washing dishes, Well, washing dishes can be an act of love when done with heart. Emma, you don't just serve to wash dishes. You serve to teach us to be better. We toasted, ate, laughed, sang carols. Midnight came with sincere hugs. Presents were exchanged, but the greatest gift had already been given. Respect, recognition, transformation. At 1 a.m, everyone in the kitchen washing dishes. Together. Charlotte beside me, scrubbing a pan. You know, Emma, you were right. Someone has to wash the dishes. But it doesn't always have to be the same person. True. And you know what? Washing dishes together is actually fun. She laughed, splashed me with suds. We started a suds war that quickly became a general family battle. My mother shouting to stop but laughing. William protecting his Rolex. Uncle James filming everything. 3 a.m, house clean, everyone exhausted but happy. Sitting in the drawing room, eating leftover pudding. Charlotte rested her head on my shoulder. Emma? Yes? Next year, will you teach me grandmother's Christmas pudding recipe? Of course. But there's a secret that's only passed on when the person is ready. And am I ready? Almost. When you understand that the secret isn't in the recipe, it's in who you're feeding. March 2025. Charlotte rang me excitedly. Emma, I have an idea. What if we opened a business? A catering service, but special. Not just food, creating experiences. Charlotte, are you sure? I've never been more sure. You have the talent. I have the capital and contacts. William can manage the finances. We could create something brilliant. In April, Hearts and Plates, Emotional Catering was born. Our philosophy was simple. We didn't just serve food. We created memories. Every event was personalized. Every detail thought through with love. First major event, a golden wedding anniversary for friends of Uncle James in the Cotswolds. 400 guests. We were nervous. In the kitchen, Charlotte beside me plating up. Emma, what if it goes wrong? It won't. You know why? Because we're a team now. No one's alone. It was a triumph. The couple cried, tasting the wedding cake, identical to the one from their wedding 50 years earlier. The groom gave a speech of thanks. We were applauded at the end. By July, the business was booming. Article in the Times, Sisters Transform Family Conflict into Culinary Empire. The article told our story, that Christmas that changed everything. Charlotte insisted on saying in the interview, my sister always had this talent. I just took too long to see it. September brought a proposal. The BBC wanted to make a documentary about us. Hearts and Plates, When Food Heals Families. They'd show our journey from that fateful Christmas to today. Filming began in October. The hardest scene, recreating that famous Christmas. Painful but necessary. Charlotte gave an emotional interview. I humiliated my sister publicly. It was the worst mistake of my life, but it's also what transformed me. Today, I wash dishes with pride by her side. The documentary aired in November. Massive success. We received messages from all over Britain. Families in conflict, estranged siblings. Everyone saw a piece of themselves in our story. December returned, 2 years after that fateful Christmas. This time, dinner would be in our reception hall in Mayfair. Larger space, the whole family plus friends and employees. About 100 people. I arrived at 6. The hall was magnificently decorated. Lights, enormous tree, table set for a banquet. Charlotte waited at the entrance, elegant in a red Alexander McQueen dress. Emma, before you go in, I must show you something. She led me to an adjacent room. On the wall, a giant photo of us as children, cooking with Dad. Below, a plaque, the Emma Ashford Room, where plates become love. Charlotte, every VIP room in our catering business will bear your name. Forever. So everyone remembers you're much more than dishes. We hugged, cried, entered together. The party was magnificent. Family, friends, employees, all together. Sumptuous table, live jazz quartet, palpable joy. But the special moment came at 11. Charlotte went up on the small stage, microphone in hand. Déjà vu from the year before, but completely different energy. Exactly 2 years ago, at this precise time, I spoke the cruelest words of my life. I said my sister only served to wash dishes. Today, 2 years later, I want to tell the truth. Emma serves to love, to unite, to transform. She transformed our family, transformed me, transformed plates into affection, Food into communion, humiliation into opportunity for growth. She raised her glass. A toast to Emma, the woman who washes plates and hearts, who nourishes bodies and souls. My sister, my partner, my teacher, my best friend. Everyone toasted. I was in tears. I went on stage, hugged Charlotte. You know, Charlotte, 2 years ago you were right and wrong at the same time. Yes, I serve to wash dishes, but I also serve for so much more. I serve to unite, transform, love, teach, inspire. And I discovered that when you embrace even the smallest task with dignity and purpose, you become unbeatable. Midnight arrived with fireworks William had organized on the Thames. Hugs, wishes. The camera crew filmed everything for the Christmas special. At 1 in the morning, 100 people washing dishes together in the kitchen. Charlotte coordinating. People queue up, sort by type. Emma taught me there's even a system for washing dishes. We laughed, sang, washed dishes as if it were the most fun thing in the world. 3 in the morning, everything clean. Only immediate family left in the hall. Me, Charlotte, William, Mom, Oliver, eating leftovers, drinking leftover champagne. You know, I began. These 2 years have changed everything, but I wouldn't change anything that happened. The pain was necessary. Charlotte nodded. The humiliation I caused became humility. Contempt became respect. Individualism became unity. My mother, usually silent at these moments, surprised us. I have a confession. Your father, before he died, told me something. He said Emma had the gift of uniting people through food, like him. He said to make sure she never lost that. I failed. I let her carry everything alone. Forgive me. Mom, it's all right. No, it's not all right. But now it will be, I promise. William, who'd been silent, stood up. I need to say something too. I always saw you, Charlotte's family, as strangers. People I had to tolerate on special occasions. But these 2 years, you've become my real family. Emma, thank you for accepting me even though I was a prat. Oliver closed the circle. Next year I'm marrying Sophie. You already know who's doing the catering, right? We laughed. Of course we knew. Today, December 2025, I write this from our new headquarters in Belgravia. Hearts and Plates has 12 locations across the UK. We employ 300 people. But most importantly, we're a family. Charlotte just rang. Emma, is the turkey ready? Take it out and let it rest for 20 minutes. Right. Oh, and Emma, thank you. For what? For teaching me that washing dishes can be revolutionary. Sometimes I think back to that Christmas 2023. The humiliation, the pain, the anger, and I'm grateful. Because we had to break to rebuild better. We had to expose the wound to heal. And Charlotte? Well, she was right and wrong at the same time. Yes, I serve to wash dishes, but I also serve for so much more. I serve to unite, transform, love, teach, inspire. And I discovered that when you embrace even the smallest task with dignity and purpose, you become invincible. The phone rings again. It's Mum. Darling, what time do we start? 7 o'clock, Mum, as always. I need help with the trifle. On my way. I stand up, take my keys. Today is Christmas. Today is family. Today there are dishes to wash. And for the first time in many years, this fills me with joy, not burden. Because today, we'll all wash dishes together, as a proper family does. In the lift, I receive a message from Charlotte with a photo. Her, in an apron, smiling, hands covered in flour, the golden turkey in the background. The caption, learning to do much more than wash dishes with the best teacher in the world. I smile. Reply, we're all learning, Charlotte, all of us. And it's true. We keep learning, growing, transforming, because a true family isn't one that never rose. It's one that learns from conflicts, not one that never makes mistakes. It's one that knows how to apologize, not one that never falls. It's one that gets up together. Today, when someone asks what I do, I answer with pride. I wash dishes, and I transform lives whilst doing it. Because I discovered it's not what you do that matters, but how and why you do it. And when you do it with love, purpose, and dignity, even washing dishes can change the world, or at least change a family. And sometimes that's enough to start a revolution. What did you think of this story? Did it touch your heart? Leave a comment below and tell us if you've ever experienced something similar in your family. Can family conflicts really become opportunities for transformation? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss our emotional stories. Share this video with someone who needs to know that even the simplest gestures can create the biggest changes. Give us a thumbs up if this story moved you and tell us in the comments, which line struck you the most? See you next time with another story that will touch your heart. Cheers, everyone.